I recently had the opportunity to discuss shutters with Leigh Denham, National Sales Manager at Southern Shutter Company. I'm working on recruiting him as a corporate member. If you buy or spec Southern Shutters, please put in a good word for me. It could mean a free year of membership for you. Anyway, before there were windows, there were shutters. And like pretty much everything in architecture, these now mostly decorative appurtenances once served a very useful purpose. Shutters block the searing sun, howling winds, and pelting rains, if they're closed. Shutters insulate in the winter and deflect prying eyes all year round. Although operable shutters are rarely used these days, even fixed shutters can be a beautiful architectural detail if installed well. So I asked Leigh, what are the most common mistakes designers make when designing homes with shutters? Leigh pointed out a few. And although I've been through classes taught by traditionalists and masters of classicism, one mistake Leigh pointed out blew my mind. It's so simple. I couldn't believe it's taken me this long to learn it. But even with a trained eye, this detail is so tiny, it's no wonder it happens so often. I found evidence of it happening on more than one shutter company website without them even knowing it. One of them was the Southern Shutter Company themselves. First, the blunders that Leigh pointed out are the ones that you can see quickly. The ones that are like nails on a chalkboard to us design professionals. Shutters that don't fit the window opening. A tall, slender shutter abutting an enormous picture window happens quite often. Shutters should be sized and shaped to appear as though they will cover the window perfectly when they're closed. Properly sized shutters should look as though they will fold tightly inside the exterior window casings, leaving a narrow gap at the perimeter. Then there are the quarter round shutters applied to eyebrow windows, or worse yet, square shutters alongside arch windows, or vice versa. Okay, those are the rookie mistakes. Here are the more technical details to consider. Fake shutters with louvers are almost always installed with the louvers sloped downward. Now think about it. Louvers are designed to shed rain and block the sun. When the shutter is closed, the louvers are going to slope downward. So when the shutter is open, the leading edge of the louvers should naturally point up. But that would cause the shutters to collect water and rot, right? Not if you're speccing real louvered shutters with gaps for airflow. Using hinges and shutter dogs adds to the illusion of an operable shutter and causes the shutter to be away from the siding, allowing moisture to weep. And while we're talking hardware, Leigh says hinges are ordered according to their offset, the dimension between their pivot point and the mounting plate. The larger the offset, the larger the hinge's total swing or throw. If your house has a brick or stone facade with deeply recessed windows, you'll want a large offset. And by the way, deep shadow lines are an attractive consequence when you can talk the homeowner and builder into doing this correctly. I have to wrap up, but I have more to share, so I've written a blog. It includes things I've learned from articles by Fine Home Building, the Journal of Light Construction, the book Get Your House Right, and classes by the Institute of Classical Architecture and Art. But before we go, here's the one thing I learned from Leigh that no one else has taught me until now. A very well-written article in Fine Home Building instructs us to line up the shutter midrail with the window sashes, if the shutter has a midrail. Here's a beautiful image used to illustrate the point. Notice the positioning of the slide bolt. Leigh pointed out that if you were to actually close the shutter from the inside, the window's meeting rails would be in the way of the slide bolt. A shutter's dividing rail should be about 2 inches below the meeting rails. But like I said, even trained eyes have missed this detail for decades. Here's a photo I found on the Southern Shutter Company website. And here's a photo from the Atlantic Shutter website, another popular producer of authentic shutters. Both have missed this very minute but meaningful detail. Check out the blog, bookmark it, and use it to help your clients and builders understand what you're thinking when it comes to shutters. Also remember to go back to the email that brought you here. We send it out every Monday. If you're not already subscribed, go to aibd.org/Monday Minute. Thanks, and have a triumphant week.